Love is not just an emotion, but a long journey full of challenges, learning, and growth. But do we really understand love, or are we just vague with ups and downs? Have you ever wondered why some women seem effortlessly respected, pursued, and deeply cherished, while others constantly struggle to hold a man's attention? The difference isn't in appearance, luck, or even effort. It's in the way she carries herself. In this video, we're going to explore 8 powerful ways you can become the kind of woman a man not only respects, but feels compelled to pursue and never let go. If you're ready to stop chasing and start attracting the love you truly deserve, then stay with me, because this might just shift the way you experience relationships forever. Welcome to the channel, Sophia's Knowledge, and my name is Sophia. This is where we explore real stories, profound lessons, and valuable experiences about love. Today, in this video, Sophia will share with you 8 ways to make men respect and pursue you long term. If you have ever wondered about questions about love, don't skip this video. For the best experience, find a quiet place, put on your headphones and let yourself completely listen to what I am about to share. Relax, and let everything flow away. Let's find out with Sophia the secrets to help you live more fully in each relationship. Let's get started together. Method 1. Know your worth and don't need a man's validation. There is something undeniably powerful about a woman who knows her worth. She walks into a room not trying to impress anyone, not seeking attention, and certainly not hoping someone will tell her she's enough. She already knows. This kind of woman doesn't chase love. She attracts it. Not because she's arrogant, but because she carries herself with the quiet confidence of someone who has done the work to value herself deeply. Too many women fall into the trap of measuring their self-worth through the eyes of a man. They wait for his compliments to feel beautiful. They wait for his approval to feel accomplished. They wait for his attention to feel important. But when your self-esteem is tied to someone else's perception of you, you are always one step away from feeling inadequate. That's why knowing your worth independently is not just powerful, it's essential. A woman who knows her worth doesn't tolerate being treated as an option. She doesn't settle for breadcrumb attention, half-hearted love, or inconsistent effort. She doesn't cling to a man who treats her poorly because she fears being alone. She chooses peace over chaos, respect over romance, and growth over comfort. Her standards are not meant to intimidate, they are meant to protect. When a man meets a woman like this, he quickly realizes he can't play games. He either steps up or steps aside. She doesn't fall for sweet words if they're not backed by action. She doesn't get impressed by empty promises or grand gestures that aren't consistent. What attracts a man to her isn't her neediness, it's her independence. Her emotional stability. Her ability to walk away if she's not being valued. You see, men respect women who respect themselves. A woman who validates herself doesn't need constant reassurance from a partner. She's not threatened by other women, nor does she compete for attention. She knows that what she brings to the table is unique. She's not desperate for love because she already gives herself the care, the attention, and the affection she deserves. And because of that, love that comes to her has to match the level of love she gives herself, or it doesn't get a seat at her table. The truth is, when you know your worth, you stop begging. You stop over-explaining. You stop chasing. Instead, you start observing. You pay attention to how someone treats you, how consistent their energy is, how aligned their actions are with their words. And when something feels off, you don't ignore it hoping it'll fix itself. You confront it, or you walk away. Not out of ego, but out of self-respect. Being a woman who doesn't need a man's validation doesn't mean you reject love. It means you welcome it on your terms. You allow yourself to be pursued, adored, and cherished. But never at the cost of your dignity. You understand that being in a relationship is not about completing you. It's about complementing you. You are already whole. This mindset shifts everything. It turns you from someone who's waiting to be chosen into someone who does the choosing. It keeps you from losing yourself in relationships, from accepting crumbs when you deserve the whole feast. You begin to attract men who see your value, not because you shouted it, but because you silently live it. You embody it. So if you want to be respected, pursued, and loved deeply, start by loving yourself fiercely. Know that your worth is not up for negotiation. Not every man will see it, and that's okay. The ones who do will never make you question it. They'll rise to meet you where you are. Because men don't chase women who chase them. They chase the ones who chase nothing but their purpose, their peace, and their growth. When you stop trying to prove your worth, you give others the space to recognize it. And when you stop looking for validation, you create room for genuine connection. The right man won't be intimidated by your strength, he'll be drawn to it. Because deep down, even the strongest man is looking for a woman who stands strong on her own. In the end, your worth is not something you find in someone else's eyes. It's something you build within yourself, brick by brick, through boundaries, self-respect, and self-love. And once you have it, you'll never settle for anything less than what aligns with it. That is when the right man will not only pursue you, but honor you for a lifetime. If you found this video helpful, please share it with your friends or family to spread the value. And if you have any questions or ideas, leave them in the comments. I'm always listening and ready to answer. Let's continue together. Method 2. Set clear boundaries and stick to them. Boundaries are not walls that keep people out. They are bridges that show others how to love and respect you properly. A woman who knows how to set clear boundaries is not controlling, cold, or distant. She is simply someone who understands the value of emotional safety, self-respect, and healthy relationships. She doesn't allow just anyone to have access to her mind, her time, or her heart. And because of that, she becomes unforgettable. Far too often, women are taught that being kind means being available at all times. That being loving means sacrificing their own needs. That being good means tolerating disrespect, inconsistency, and emotional neglect. But the truth is, the absence of boundaries isn't love, it's self-abandonment. And no relationship, no matter how passionate, can be healthy if you constantly shrink yourself to make someone else comfortable. A woman with strong boundaries knows her limits and communicates them clearly. She's not afraid to say no. She's not afraid to walk away from situations that drain her. And she certainly doesn't feel guilty for protecting her peace. Her boundaries are not threats, they are invitations. Invitations for the right man to rise up, to show up, and to treat her with the respect she knows she deserves. When you set boundaries, you teach others how to treat you. You tell them, this is how close you can come. This is what I will accept. This is what I will not tolerate. And the man who truly values you will never see those boundaries as restrictions. He will see them as guidance. As a roadmap to your heart. He will understand that by honoring your boundaries, he is building a relationship on trust, clarity, and mutual respect. Sticking to your boundaries is just as important as setting them. Because anyone can draw a line. But not everyone can stand by it when someone tries to cross it. This is where your strength shows. When you say, I don't accept being ghosted, and then you actually walk away when it happens. When you say, I won't be someone's secret, and you leave when he refuses to introduce you to the people in his life. When your actions match your words, that's when men start to take you seriously. Some men will test your boundaries, not out of malice, but out of habit. They've never met a woman who truly meant what she said. Who didn't bend the rules out of fear of losing them. But when they meet you, a woman who values herself enough to enforce her boundaries, they either evolve or exit. And either way, you win. Because you're not here to convince anyone of your worth. You're here to protect it. Boundaries also protect you from emotional burnout. They help you maintain your identity in a relationship. They remind you that love should not come at the expense of your well-being. A woman without boundaries often loses herself trying to please others. But a woman with boundaries stays grounded in who she is, no matter who walks into or out of her life. Healthy boundaries do not push love away, they attract the right kind of love. They filter out the ones who are not ready, not respectful, or not serious. They save you time, energy, and heartbreak. And they create a space where real intimacy can grow, because intimacy without respect is manipulation. And respect always begins with how you treat yourself. A man who genuinely cares about you will appreciate your boundaries. He will feel safe in a relationship where expectations are clear. He will know that when you say yes, you mean it. And when you say no, you're not being difficult, you're being honest. That kind of transparency creates a bond that surface-level attraction never could. So, set your boundaries. Speak them with confidence. Enforce them with kindness. And never apologize for needing emotional clarity, consistency, or commitment. Your boundaries are not too much. They are the minimum. And any man who sees them as a burden was never meant to carry your heart in the first place. Remember, you are not hard to love. You are hard to manipulate. And there's a big difference. When you stand firm in your boundaries, you stand in your power. And from that place, the only relationships that enter your life will be the ones worthy of the woman you've become. If you are still watching the video, do not hesitate to comment continue. Leave your thoughts and questions below in the comment section. I look forward to hearing your opinions. And do not forget to like and subscribe to the channel so that Sophia has more motivation to create more good and meaningful videos. Let's continue together. Method 3. Maintain a full and interesting life of your own. One of the most attractive qualities a woman can have is a life that excites her, with or without a man in it. A woman who maintains her own passions, friendships, goals, and routines becomes magnetic, not because she's trying to impress anyone, but because she is deeply engaged with herself and the world around her. She doesn't wait for someone to bring her joy. She creates it. Too many women lose themselves in relationships. They trade in their interests for his schedule. They cancel plans with friends to be more available. They forget what made them feel alive before he came along. In the beginning, the attention might feel flattering. But over time, this imbalance leads to quiet resentment and emotional dependency. A woman who gives up her life to make someone else her everything ends up with nothing when that person pulls away. On the other hand, a woman with a full life is never desperate for company. She welcomes love, but it's not her sole source of happiness. Her days are filled with purpose. She has projects she's passionate about. Friends who inspire her. Hobbies that ground her. Goals that stretch her. She doesn't need to be rescued from boredom, because she has built a life she genuinely enjoys. This kind of independence is not just attractive, it's irresistible. Men are drawn to women who have something going on beyond them. Not because they want to compete with your life, but because your independence shows that you are not placing unrealistic expectations on them. It shows maturity. It shows emotional intelligence. And most importantly, it creates balance. When both people in a relationship have their own lives, their time together becomes intentional, not obligatory. Maintaining a full life also keeps your self-worth intact. You are less likely to tolerate poor behavior when your happiness doesn't revolve around a single person. If a man ghosts you, you don't spiral. If plans fall through, you don't fall apart. Why? Because your identity doesn't hinge on someone else's presence. You have a sense of stability that no one can take away. That's power. Having your own life doesn't mean you're unavailable or uninterested. It means you're whole. It means you bring something to the table other than emotional need. You bring energy, insight, stories, Passion. When you show up like that, your presence becomes a gift, not a demand. The relationship becomes a shared experience, not a rescue mission. It's also important to note that a full life keeps the relationship fresh. It gives you something to talk about, something to share. You bring new ideas, new experiences, and new energy into the connection. Instead of becoming overly dependent on each other, you grow individually, and as a result, grow stronger together. You don't cling. You connect. And that difference makes all the difference. A woman with her own life also commands respect. She sets the tone from the start. I will make space for you, but I won't abandon myself for you. This boundary prevents emotional imbalance. It lets the man know that you value your own growth, and if he wants to be in your world, he needs to support it, not sabotage it. That expectation filters out the ones who want control and attracts those who want partnership. Some people might call you selfish for putting yourself first. Let them. You're not here to shrink so someone else can shine. You're here to build a life that reflects your soul, your dreams, and your values. And anyone who truly cares about you will not only understand that, they will admire it. Because deep down, everyone wants to be with someone who inspires them to grow. Not someone who disappears into the relationship. So, go after the goals that light you up. Take that trip. Start that business. Write that book. Dance. Paint. Learn. Explore. Do things for you, not for validation. Not for attention. Just because it makes you feel alive. That vibrancy will radiate from you, and the right man will be drawn to it, not intimidated by it. In the end, the healthiest relationships are between two whole people, not two halves looking to feel complete. Your life is not a waiting room for love. It is a masterpiece in progress. And the man who truly sees you will never ask you to put your brush down. He'll simply want to paint beside you. Method 4. Communicate intelligently, know when to speak and when to stay silent. Communication is the foundation of every meaningful relationship. But it's not just about what you say, it's about how you say it, when you say it, and just as importantly, when you choose to say nothing at all. A woman who communicates intelligently understands the power of timing, tone, and intention. She knows that every word has the ability to build a bridge or burn one down. And she chooses her moments with care. There is a unique strength in a woman who can express herself clearly, directly, and calmly. She doesn't explode when she's upset, nor does she suppress her emotions to avoid confrontation. She speaks up when something matters, but she also knows when silence speaks louder than words. This emotional maturity is not weakness, it is power under control. And it earns deep respect from any man who's paying attention. Men don't respond well to drama, chaos, or constant criticism. But that doesn't mean you should stay quiet to keep the peace. It means you should learn to speak in a way that invites understanding rather than defensiveness. Intelligent communication is about choosing words that express your truth without attacking someone else's character. It's about setting the tone for productive dialogue, not emotional warfare. A woman who knows when to speak doesn't use her voice to dominate. She uses it to clarify, to connect, to resolve. She doesn't bring up every small issue in the heat of the moment. Instead, she pauses, reflects, and brings it up when emotions have cooled and both people can think clearly. She doesn't weaponize her words. She wields them wisely. On the other hand, knowing when to stay silent is just as important. Not every disagreement needs an immediate response. Not every insult deserves your energy. Sometimes, the most powerful thing you can do is pause. Stay calm. Say nothing. In those moments, silence can be a sign of strength, not weakness. It shows that you are in control of your emotions, not a slave to them. Silence can also create space for reflection. When you don't immediately react, you give both yourself and the other person room to process. This often leads to better outcomes than impulsive responses. It also teaches others that you are not easily rattled, which builds a sense of quiet authority in how you carry yourself. Smart communication also involves listening. Truly listening, not just waiting to reply. A woman who listens without interrupting, who takes the time to understand before she reacts, stands out in a world full of noise. She doesn't talk over others to be heard. She listens so deeply that when she does speak, her words carry weight. This doesn't mean you suppress your feelings. It means you own them without letting them own you. It means you choose your moments not out of fear, but out of wisdom. You speak when it brings clarity. You stay silent when it would only bring confusion. That's emotional intelligence in action. Men deeply respect women who can express their boundaries and needs clearly, but without hostility. They admire women who can challenge them without shaming them. Who can say, "I'm hurt," instead of, "You're horrible." That level of communication builds connection, not conflict. And it sets the tone for a mature, lasting relationship. The ability to communicate intelligently is not something you're born with. It's something you learn through self-awareness and discipline. It takes practice to pause before you speak. It takes strength to hold back when you want to react. But the rewards are worth it. Because when you master communication, you don't just improve your relationships, you elevate your entire life. A woman who knows how to balance speaking and silence becomes a calming force in any relationship. She doesn't create tension, she diffuses it. She doesn't escalate conflict, she navigates it. And in doing so, she earns not just attention, but admiration. Not just desire, but deep, enduring respect. So speak your truth, but do it with grace. Share your thoughts, but with timing and tact. Don't be afraid to use your voice, but don't underestimate the strength of your silence. When you learn to communicate with intention, you stop reacting and start leading. And the man who is meant for you will not only hear you, he'll listen, because your words will matter. Method 5. Don't chase, let him pursue you. There is a natural rhythm to romantic attraction. And within that rhythm, the dance of pursuit is one of the most powerful elements. When a woman chases a man, she disrupts that balance. She tries to lead a dynamic that was never meant to be led by desperation. But when a woman stands still in her worth, allowing the man to step forward, everything changes. She no longer begs for love, she becomes the kind of woman love runs toward. Many women fall into the trap of chasing because they fear losing someone they care about. They initiate all the conversations, make all the plans, and constantly try to prove their value. They think that effort equals love. But in doing so, they reverse the polarity of attraction. A man who feels he doesn't have to do anything to earn you, respect you, or fight for you is a man who will slowly lose interest. Men are wired to pursue what they value. What they fight for. What challenges them. When you hand yourself over too easily, emotionally, mentally, or physically, you remove the need for him to invest. He may enjoy the attention at first, but over time, the dynamic becomes unbalanced. And in that imbalance, interest fades. Letting a man pursue you doesn't mean playing games or acting disinterested when you're not. It means you hold space for him to show you who he is. You give him room to take initiative. You allow him to come closer instead of constantly stepping toward him. You don't text him first every time. You don't try to impress him with over-the-top gestures. Instead, you let your presence, your energy, and your confidence speak for you. A woman who allows herself to be pursued exudes grace. She is not hard to approach, but she is not easily won. She knows she is worthy of effort. She doesn't entertain inconsistency, because she knows real interest is obvious. A man who wants you will make it clear. If he doesn't, she doesn't try to fill in the silence with more of herself. She simply moves on. Chasing is often rooted in fear, fear of being forgotten, replaced, or abandoned. But those fears only hold power when you don't trust your own value. When you know who you are, when you believe in your worth, you no longer feel the need to prove it. You stop overextending. You stop convincing. You stop running after people who can't see what's right in front of them. Instead of chasing, you become magnetic. You attract. You draw people in by simply being whole, present, and aligned with yourself. Your energy says, "I don't need you, but I welcome you if you show up right." That message is powerful. It separates you from the crowd. It filters out the ones who only want easy attention, and draws in the ones who are ready to invest. Letting him pursue also allows the relationship to unfold more naturally. He gets to lead with intention. He gets to prove he's serious, consistent, and emotionally available. You get to observe, receive, and respond, not react. This balance of energy creates a healthy dynamic, one where both people feel valued and seen. A man who truly wants to be in your life will not be confused about how to get there. He will call. He will show up. He will plan. He will initiate. He will make it known that he is serious. You don't have to chase love when it's real. Real love meets you where you are, and then walks beside you. This doesn't mean you never put in effort. It means you don't lead with effort. You mirror what is given. You meet consistency with warmth. You meet clarity with openness. But you never lead the pursuit. Because the moment you do, you start giving more than you're receiving. And love cannot survive an imbalance. So don't chase. Pause. Observe. Let him show you his intentions. Let him prove with action, not just words, that he's worthy of your time and heart. When you stand in this energy, you not only gain respect, you attract someone who sees you as a prize to pursue, not a convenience to enjoy. Remember, you are not hard to love. You are just not easy to fool. And the man who understands that will not make you chase him. He will chase the opportunity to earn you, and he'll be grateful when you let him in. Method 6. Have goals and keep growing. A woman with goals is a woman who moves through life with purpose. She wakes up with something to pursue, not just a man, not just a relationship, but a vision for herself. And that energy is magnetic. It's not just what she wants from life that captivates others, it's the way she goes after it. Her drive, her discipline, and her refusal to settle make her unforgettable. Too many people lose themselves in love. They fall so deeply into a relationship that they stop growing. They become comfortable. They start making excuses. But love should not be the end of your ambition. It should be the fuel that propels it forward. A powerful woman knows that a relationship should never cost her growth. If anything, it should inspire more of it. When a woman has clear goals, whether in her career, education, creativity, or personal life, she automatically earns respect. She doesn't wait around for someone to come save her or give her direction. She creates her own path. She builds her own momentum. And any man who enters her life quickly sees that he's not dealing with someone who is idle or aimless. He's dealing with someone who is going somewhere. This doesn't mean she has everything figured out. It means she's actively working on herself. She reads. She learns. She invests in her growth. She sets standards for her life and does the hard work of showing up for herself. She has dreams, and she protects them. She doesn't abandon them for the sake of being liked or accepted. She knows that the right man won't ask her to shrink. He'll want to grow alongside her. Growth is attractive because it shows that you're alive. It shows that you're not stagnant. It means you're evolving, which means the relationship will evolve too. A woman who's growing will never become boring, because she's always discovering something new, about the world, about herself, about love. Her curiosity keeps the connection fresh. Her goals give her direction. And her self-improvement creates depth. Men are drawn to women who challenge them, not in a confrontational way, but in a way that makes them want to be better. When you're leveling up, you inspire those around you to do the same. A man will respect a woman who has ambition. But more than that, he will admire a woman who doesn't lose herself in love. A woman who continues to prioritize her personal evolution no matter who she's dating. Having goals also builds confidence. It gives you something to focus on besides waiting for a text or overanalyzing a conversation. It shifts your energy inward. You become too focused on your mission to obsess over anyone's inconsistent attention. You stop accepting breadcrumbs when you've got your eyes on a banquet. You learn to say no to distractions because you're saying yes to your future. And growth doesn't only apply to your career or finances. It's also emotional, mental, spiritual. A growing woman heals her wounds. She breaks toxic patterns. She learns to manage her emotions. She doesn't blame the world, she asks herself what lesson life is trying to teach her. This level of self-awareness creates emotional depth that most people never reach. And that depth is what creates lasting connection. When a man sees that you are committed to becoming your best self, he knows you won't tolerate being dragged down. He realizes that if he wants to stay in your life, he has to grow too. That doesn't mean you pressure him, it means you naturally elevate the standard. Your presence becomes a mirror, and he either rises or retreats. So don't water yourself down to be more likable. Don't hide your goals to seem less intimidating. The right man will not be scared of your ambition, he will be inspired by it. He will support your dreams. He will cheer for your wins. And he will never make you feel like you have to choose between love and growth. In the end, your purpose is bigger than any relationship. Your journey matters. Your voice matters. Your evolution matters. Keep building. Keep dreaming. Keep rising. And the man who deserves you will not just watch you grow, he'll grow with you. Method 7. Don't tolerate disrespect, no matter how small. Respect is not a luxury in a relationship, it's a non-negotiable foundation. When a woman allows even the smallest forms of disrespect to go unchecked, she opens the door for more. What starts as a dismissive comment can quickly turn into emotional neglect. What begins as a joke at her expense can grow into patterns of belittlement. That's why a high-value woman doesn't just expect respect, she demands it. Quietly. Consistently. Without apology. Disrespect doesn't always come with yelling or name-calling. Sometimes, it's subtle. It's in the way he interrupts you. The way he ignores your feelings. The way he laughs at your dreams. It's in how he forgets your boundaries, cancels plans without notice, or makes you feel guilty for asking for basic consideration. These may seem like small things, but they are warning signs. And they should never be dismissed. A woman who respects herself does not excuse bad behavior with "he didn't mean it." She doesn't sweep things under the rug just to keep the peace. She understands that peace built on silence is not peace, it's suppression. She chooses courage over comfort. She addresses the disrespect as soon as it shows up. And if it continues, she doesn't stay hoping it will change, she leaves, knowing she deserves better. Tolerating disrespect, even in its smallest form, sends a message. It tells the other person, you can treat me like this, and I'll still stay. And people treat you based on what you allow. That's why strong boundaries and high standards are essential. They are not about being difficult or demanding. They are about protecting your peace, your energy, and your self-worth. The right man will never feel threatened by your standards. He won't mock your boundaries. He will honor them. Why? Because he knows that respect is the foundation of love, not control, not fear, not manipulation. Real men don't want to walk over you. They want to walk beside you. But they can only do that if you show them where the line is drawn. You teach others how to treat you by what you tolerate. If you stay quiet when you're hurt, they'll assume your pain doesn't matter. If you laugh when you're disrespected, they'll think it's okay. If you forgive without conversation or accountability, they'll believe there are no consequences. This is why speaking up matters, not to fight, but to clarify. Not to accuse, but to protect your dignity. Some women fear that calling out disrespect will make them seem too much or too sensitive. But the truth is, the fear of being too much is often what keeps women in places where they are treated like too little. You are not too emotional for wanting respect. You are not too difficult for wanting consistency. You are not asking for too much when you expect to be treated with kindness, consideration, and care. Respect should never have to be begged for. If you have to constantly explain why something hurt you, or justify why your needs matter, then you're not being respected. You're being tolerated. And there's a difference. Being tolerated is passive. Being respected is intentional. It's visible in someone's actions, tone, attention, and presence. Disrespect also damages your self-esteem. The longer you stay in environments that make you feel small, the more you begin to believe that you deserve it. But you don't. You were not created to shrink for someone's convenience. You were not made to be silenced, overlooked, or controlled. You were meant to be seen, heard, valued, and loved for exactly who you are. So, if he raises his voice at you, walks away in the middle of a serious conversation, mocks your opinions, or disregards your boundaries, it's not just a bad day. It's a red flag. And the longer you justify it, the more you lose touch with the voice inside you that says, "This is not okay." The woman who refuses to tolerate disrespect is not bitter, she's wise. She knows that every time she says no to being treated poorly, she's saying yes to a better life. A better love. A better version of herself. She's not afraid to walk alone if it means walking in peace. Because she understands that solitude with dignity is better than company with disrespect. You are not too hard to love. You are just no longer available for people who don't know how to love you right. And that's a beautiful, powerful place to be. Method 8. Make him feel like he wants to protect you, not like he has to carry you. There's a powerful distinction between being someone a man wants to protect and being someone he feels responsible for carrying. The first is rooted in love, admiration, and natural masculine instinct. The second is rooted in pressure, imbalance, and emotional dependency. A high-value woman understands the difference. She doesn't look for a man to complete her, she looks for a man who complements her strength with his. Men are naturally drawn to women who inspire their protective instincts, but that doesn't mean acting helpless. It doesn't mean pretending to be weak. It means allowing space for him to step up, not because you can't survive without him, but because he wants to be the one who supports you when life gets heavy. There is a difference between needing someone to fix you and allowing someone to stand beside you. A woman who evokes a man's desire to protect her does not constantly demand attention, reassurance, or solutions. She is not emotionally chaotic, nor does she place the weight of her happiness entirely on his shoulders. Instead, she moves with grace, even through difficulty. She is strong but not hardened. Independent but not closed off. Her energy says, "I've got this, but I welcome you here." That balance is irresistible. When a man feels like he has to carry a woman emotionally, mentally, or even physically, it creates an unspoken burden. Over time, this burden can feel less like love and more like a job. He begins to feel responsible for her moods, her insecurities, her sense of self-worth. And no matter how deeply he may care for her, the weight becomes unsustainable. But when a woman carries herself with strength and composure, while still showing softness and vulnerability when needed, he feels inspired to be her safe place. Not because she's falling apart, but because she trusts him enough to let him in. That trust is not forced. It's earned. It's not loud. It's calm. And it invites a man to lead, to support, and to give without feeling drained. Letting a man protect you doesn't make you less powerful. In fact, it takes incredible strength to remain soft in a hard world. It's not about becoming dependent. It's about creating a space where a man can express his masculinity in healthy ways. Where he feels respected, needed, and appreciated, not obligated. Women who constantly vent without boundaries, who unload every stress, who expect a man to fix everything, often leave him feeling overwhelmed. It's not that he doesn't care. It's that he doesn't feel capable. And when a man feels incapable in a relationship, he emotionally retreats. He pulls away. Not because he's weak, but because he feels ineffective. The key is balance. Share your thoughts, your struggles, your fears, but do so with self-awareness. Ask for support, but don't hand him the blueprint to your healing. Let him be a partner, not a savior. When you face challenges, invite him in, but don't collapse into him. Let him protect you in moments of real need, not because you can't cope, but because his presence adds strength to your own. You want him to look at you and think, she's got it, but I want to help. Not, if I walk away, she'll fall apart. The first builds connection. The second builds resentment. A man is most attracted to a woman who is centered in herself. Who has depth, self-respect, and emotional balance. Who doesn't expect him to be her everything, but deeply values his role in her life. She doesn't force him to protect her, she inspires it. Not with drama. Not with helplessness. But with her quiet strength and emotional maturity. This dynamic creates a healthy relationship. One where both people feel empowered. One where the man feels masculine without feeling used. One where the woman feels supported without losing her autonomy. And in that space, love thrives. So be the woman who walks with her head high, who handles her life with grace, but who also allows space for love to show up in the form of protection, comfort, and presence. You don't need to prove your independence with coldness. Nor do you need to prove your need with helplessness. Stand strong, but stay open. Because the truth is, a real man doesn't want to carry you. He wants to stand beside you. He wants to protect you, not because you're fragile, but because you're precious. And when you understand that, you stop demanding love, and start attracting the kind that lasts. Conclusion. In the end, lasting attraction is not about looks, charm, or how much effort you put into chasing someone. It's about becoming the kind of woman who knows her worth, sets clear boundaries, leads a full and meaningful life, and never loses herself in love. A woman like that doesn't just attract a man, she commands his respect and inspires his commitment. Remember this, you don't need to chase love. Real love shows up for you when you're walking your path with confidence and purpose. The right man will never make you question your value. He will see it, honor it, and protect it. He will pursue you not out of obligation, but because your presence feels like peace, strength, and inspiration. The truth is, when you stop trying to be everything for someone else and start focusing on being everything for yourself, you become magnetic. You are no longer begging to be chosen, you are doing the choosing. And in that power, you stop settling for crumbs and start receiving the kind of love that matches the woman you've become. So keep growing. Keep living with passion. Keep choosing yourself every single day. Let the man who deserves you rise to your level. Let him prove he belongs in your life through consistent action and deep respect. Because in the end, respect is not something you demand with words, it's something you earn with how you carry yourself. And a man who truly sees you will never want to lose you. Not because he has to stay, but because you become the kind of woman no man ever wants to let go. So that concludes today's video. Thank you for taking the time to watch until the end. I hope you found some valuable lessons and that these shares will help you on your love journey. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel for more interesting content in the future. I appreciate your support and I'll see you in the next videos. Wishing you love and happiness.